Yo, 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 my name is Joe, and there's something I'd like you to know. It's all about how the rich use debt to make their money grow. Today, I'm going to be talking about why not all debt is bad. You often hear that in our society. There's a mantra that's repeated over and over saying, all debt is bad. It's all evil. But really, there's a difference between good debt and bad debt. And there's a specific way that rich people use debt to get richer. If you want to learn more, keep watching. But first, let's start with the definition of bad debt. When I think about bad debt, I think back to when I received my first credit card. It was a store credit card from Dillard's, and I used it to buy my first suit for my work as a financial advisor of all things. I also used that credit card to enhance my lifestyle. I started using it to buy fancy clothes. I started using it to take girls on dates at fancy restaurants, to go out with friends to the bar. I was basically using it to spend more money than I had in the moment. So basically, bad debt is when you're robbing your future self and spending money you don't have for luxuries or even necessities in the present moment. That's basically what it is. It's you're buying all these things and really at the end of the day, you're gonna have nothing to show for it. It's also using your money to buy depreciating assets. So you could argue that buying a car on a car loan is bad debt, because you're buying something that's going to lose value over time. Now, if you can afford it, sure, use the debt, rack up those points. But if you can't, that's bad debt. Bad debt, basically enhancing your lifestyle, using a credit card or using any form of debt to buy something that you really can't afford in that moment and living beyond your means. Now that we know what bad debt is, let's talk about what good debt is. Can debt ever really be good? Yes, it can. Spoiler alert. Here's how. Good debt is often referred to as leverage. And just like a lever allows you to lift more than you can normally lift, good debt allows you to buy more than you can normally buy. But what you're buying is a specific thing. You're not buying something that's going to lose value right away. You're not buying something that's going to have no value to you. You're actually buying something that will pay you an income. So rich people use good debt to buy things that will pay them an income. And it really magnifies the power of their money with something that's called leverage. Now, there was once this ancient Greek dude, and his name was Archimedes, and he was super good at math. And he had a saying that goes like this: give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum on which to place it, and I will move the world. So leverage really allows you to buy even more income than you could normally buy, and thus you get rich faster. That's how the rich get richer. Now, let me illustrate with an example. Let's say you wanted to buy a $240,000 home, and you could do that in two ways. Either you could use no debt at all because debt is evil and it's just going to ruin your life, and you put the full $240,000 down. That means you just tied up that $240,000. Now, let's say it's the same home and you can make $1,000 per month in rent on it. Now, what's happening there is that your rate of return, or the return that you're getting for that house every year, is 5%. You're getting $12,000 per year, just 5% each year. That's a very low rate of return, and it's pretty boring if you ask me, just to be completely frank. Now, let's say you use leverage, and you're a first-time home buyer, so you use an FHA loan. That allows you to only put 3.5% down. Same house, but you're only putting $8,400 down. Feel free to check my math if you would like. That's 3.5%. Now, you haven't tied up a full $240,000, so the remainder of that $240,000 is available for you to buy more investment properties, really magnifying the power of your money. But let's just focus on that there. So you put $8,400 down, and you're still getting $1,000 per month in rent. With expenses and everything, your rate of return is going to be much higher than 5%. It's going to be way up there. Actually, the tenants paying you $1,000 per month will completely cover that 3.5% down that you put in that first year, and then they'll be paying your mortgage for the life of the mortgage. You're basically profiting quicker, getting a much higher rate of return while keeping your money free. That's why the rich use debt. It's actually pretty genius if you think about it. You tie up less of your money, and your money takes you a lot further to buy a lot more income, so you can get rich faster and faster and faster. So in general, the rich use their money to buy income. They use their money to make money. Poor people, middle class, they tend to use their money to buy things that won't bring them any value in the long term. Now, of course, if you have a lot of bad debt, get out of debt. It's no fun. It's not a good feeling. I've been there. because I was not being very smart when I got my first credit card. But once you do, understand that there's a difference between good debt and bad debt. And that debt can be used to make you get rich or get rich quicker than you normally would. Of course, you got to be careful with what you're doing. Make sure you're doing good investments. But that doesn't mean all debt is bad. Thank you for watching, and hasta la vista, baby.